Hey guys, this is Phil from OnePlus.com, and today we got the OnePlus X. So this is from the company OnePlus that usually builds phones that claim to be the flagship killer. And now this is the latest from theirs, and this packs up Snapdragon 801 and the 3GB of RAM for the price of $249. So with that and this design that reminds of the Xperia Z3. So here we go with the identical specs of the Snapdragon 801 and 3GB of RAM. So the minor specs differ, but the mainstream specs that people usually care about are identical here. So can this be the 249 Z3? Let's find that out. In terms of design, it's very well built. It's very sturdy. It's got the metal frame around, and the speaker grill and the microphone is very well built. And the white and gold, which is exclusive to mainland China for now, goes very, very well. This has been a proven color mix for 100 years, so here we go. It's a very well built with the 2.5D glass on front and back. Gives you a very solid feel, gives you a premium look and feel overall. One point here is that it's very, very slippery. So this is by far the most slippery phone that we have ever reviewed. And maybe OnePlus knows that, so they threw in a case inside the packaging so you can put that on, but the thing here is that it doesn't really fit that well, so it's going to make that squeaky sound on the left part of the phone, or pretty much everywhere there is a little gap, so you wouldn't exactly like this case. One thing about this case is that, of course, it does reduce the slipperiness of the phone, so you will be getting less scratches, or you'll be cracking your phone a bit less. Now, in terms of the screen, they have the AMOLED display with the Full HD resolution, and it's actually pretty good. The colors are very accurate, and the brightness, everything else, pretty much we really like it. One downside over here is that they got rid of the part where we could adjust the white balance that OnePlus 2 has got with the update. Now the OnePlus X doesn't have that, and also you can see the pentile metrics of the screen. So if you're really picky about those pentile metrics, I'm not, but then you should avoid this guy. It does support the ambient display, so when you have a notification, it will show you in black and white scheme that you got a notification in a very power-saving manner because it's AMOLED, black screen, low power. So display is actually pretty good, but one downside here is that it's got the bezels around there. We're not expecting like a zero bezel from a 249 phone, but this is a bit too much. So when the power is turned off, although it's white, the parts around the screen is color painted in black, so you might not be able to see that very well, but when you change your screen theme into the black one, by the way, this was going to be included in Lollipop, but Google dropped support for it. We don't know why, but it's gone. But OnePlus got it, and here's the dark mode, and you can't really notice the bezels around the screen that much, except for the part where you will be facing the apps that require you to show the white screen whether you like it or not, because they're the default apps and there are plenty of them. So the bezels are quite annoying. Aside from that, the operating system is actually very good. OnePlus is known for teaming up with Cyanogen. They dropped it and they built their own operating system. This is called the Oxygen OS. The mainland China is getting the Hydrogen, but this is Oxygen for the rest of the world, including everywhere else than China, and it's actually pretty good. This is built straight from the Bolino Android, so it's very light, very lightly themed, very slightly changed, except for the part that it contains a lot of bugs. There used to be a Google bar and the little X mark to kill all the apps on the multitasking panel, but now it's gone. I don't know why, or I don't know if it is going to come back. And the camera, you can double tap to launch whatever app you want. I set that as a camera, but you can launch that, and it used to have it does have a settings icon here. It sometimes is gone, and I don't know how to get that back or why that gets back when it does. And they added a little neat features like this is the default launcher. You can rearrange or you can clear the panel. That's very handy. And there's a little settings here, and there are a number of icon packs that you can add up. This is really hard to see on a stock launcher, but they managed to do that. And they're really neat little functions, like you can swipe from the left half of the panel to quickly bring out the control panel, and you can tap and hold on the hotspot icon to quickly check your password so you can connect to your Wi-Fi hotspot faster. Those kind of nice things, and they were generous enough to include the FM radio. You can scroll down to OnePlus Radio and you have to plug in your earphones, but when you do, you can enjoy Wi-Fi FM radio for free, of course. But aside from the bugs, here is a thing. So it's a Snapdragon 801 device, and when you're getting a Snapdragon 801 249 device from a manufacturer that's not exactly well known, you expect it should have a great price to specs ratio. Well, price to spec is okay, but for $249 you can get a pretty much any mid-range phone from the known mainstream manufacturer. So what do you get with OnePlus? You get a good build quality. It's really good. You get a decent spec, but specs don't really matter these days. Snapdragon 200 devices, 400 devices do a pretty good job, and 249 devices usually have those processors. And what does it lack? What it lacks is everything else. So it doesn't have the Wi-Fi AC support, so you wouldn't have access to the 5 gigahertz network or the gigabit Wi-Fi, and it doesn't have the quick charge support, so you will be left with the 2.5 hours of charging the phone. Although it does have an okay screen on time of 3.5 hours to 3 hours, charging for that long of time is definitely a hassle. And you get a very bad camera. The camera here is definitely bad. It lacks detail, and it's actually pretty fast, but it lacks detail, and the color is just plain bad. And not to mention its slipperiness. So I don't know. A lot of people expect so much from the Chinese phones that they're gonna get somewhat of a cheap and a great phone in the same time, but that's not usually the case. We have reviewed plenty of the OnePlus devices and the Meizu and Xiaomi's. They're good usually for what you pay, and you get exactly what you pay. Although it might seem like an unbelievable deal on the spec sheet and the design, it's just exactly what you pay for. You're not getting anything more than the penny that you have paid for. So that's what OnePlus X is about. It's a great $249 phone, but it's nothing that exceeds the price of the $249 that you pay for this guy. So here's the OnePlus X. It does what you pay for.